a little bit of a lisp because I'm wearing braces.
Okay,
so just in case.
I hear that's painful.
I've passed this painful stage right now. I think I just have like 2 more weeks to go and I'm done.
Then you're done. Oh wow! Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Okay, so originally called Grace, and then what
my
happened?
parents named me Grace originally, but then my grandmother, who was called Irene Elizabeth, when they took me to her, she was like, "No, I want her to be named after me." So Grace became like my middle name, and Irene Elizabeth Grace Logan. So that's the story.
Did your grandma live to see you become the Irene Logan that we know?
She died unfortunately, she died, I think, when I was about 10 years old. Yes.
But I'm sure she was proud of you wherever she finds herself. I'm
sure, absolutely.
This is from Tribasa, right?
Tribasa,
okay.
Yes,
that's a clothing line that you have?
Tribasa is a lifestyle brand, so it's not just clothing we do, it's a slew of things we do. Apparel, beauty, shoes, and we have some special artifacts for interior decor. The whole concept around Tribasa is representing our culture. You know, there's so much beauty in the African arts and culture, and we just added some elegance to it.
And you're spearheading that?
Yes, it's my baby.
It's your baby. How do you get the, like, for instance, the concept and all of that? Do you have people who you work with, or you just dream of it and then you get it done?
Well, the dreaming part happens, but I can't do it on my own. So I have a slew of people, from my kente weavers to the team that manufacture my shoes, to the team that beats the kente. When the ideas come, I have a team of people who make the stuff. So yeah, it's like a whole village of people. But I creative direct most of my pieces.
I'm told that you said you don't want anything from the past to be played.
No. No. I really don't mind.
You don't mind playing your videos?
You know, it's a journey. You know, and I can't run away from where I started from. It's part of my story, and it's nothing that I'm ashamed of.
Okay, okay. Because we were thinking of playing songs from the past, but then we're told that.
So you can play from the past, and then we
go to the future.
Yes.
You know, well, let's leave the past at the past, or as the past, and move on with what Irene is up to now. I read the story of how you got the More song. I follow you on Instagram, so I read it, where you talked about being a fly with a missionary who was from New York to South Africa.
Yes.
And you guys prayed together. And I'm like, okay, I meet a stranger in a flight, and how do we even get talking, not to talk of holding hands and praying?
Yes.
You want to share it. That's a piece you had written, but I want to hear it from you, how it happened.
Yeah, so after I surrendered, I went through about 2 years, a period of wait. And
let's also understand how you surrendered. You know, did you get an attack, you know, in your sleep? Were you traumatized? How did it happen? Or you went to church when they say, oh, altar call, and you raised your hand, and that was it?
You know, throughout my career, throughout my life, I've always known that I had a calling on my life. But
even when you were doing secular?
Even when. I mean, from a very young age, I grew up in the church. Both my parents are pastors, ministers of the gospel. So I was always in the church. But it's not because I was always in the church that I felt like I had a calling. I knew it. I can't explain. But during the course of, when I made a decision to go secular, it was because I didn't think I could handle the responsibility of being gospel. You know, I was young. I felt like it would be too boring. I wouldn't be able to, you know, I just wanted to fit in.
Okay.
Especially being an only child. And I felt like if I went gospel, I'll be on my own. I won't have friends, you know. So I made a decision to go secular. But during the course of my music career, there were a lot of back and forths. There were a lot of inconsistencies because I was really battling. I was battling with myself. I was battling with the calling. And I struggled to respond to it. It took a lot of grace to finally come to the period of, you know, I surrender. I surrender. So after I surrendered,
and the surrender happened how? In church?
In church. I mean, even before church, I went through a period of deep depression. I went through a period of addictions. I went through a period of secluding myself a lot. And during those periods, I prayed a lot to God. I cried out to God a lot. it went from just leave me alone, God, to do what I want to do, because I felt like every attack that was happening in my personal life, in my career, in my social life, was because I wasn't walking in my true calling. And I would beg him to leave me alone. Sometimes I would beg him to die, because I felt like there was nothing else left to live for. And one of those days, at midnight, I went out because I was so restless. I went to my compound and I sat on the slab in my house, and I just said simple to God, like, God, help, help. And I heard a song that I used to listen to when I was young. It says, you may be down, feel like God has somehow forgotten that you are faced with circumstances that you can't get through. Right now it seems like there's no way out. You're going under. God's proving time and time again. He'll take care of you. He'll do it again. Yeah, so when I heard that, I have goosebumps.
Oh.
Yeah, when I heard that song, it was a reassuring moment for me. I knew God had just spoken to me. And I left, went to sleep. The next day I went to church, and now I just wanted clear answers. What next, you know? So when I went to church, we had a guest pastor. It was a weekday, and I prayed to God that, you know, if you want me to serve you, you want me to give up secular music and do your work, I want you to please tell me today. So I went to church, sat in the front, because, you know, I didn't want to be like you were in the back, so the guy didn't see you. I sat in the front, and he preached. I wasn't really paying attention. I was just waiting for him. But he finished preaching, offering, and now everyone should stand for the benediction. So I was very disappointed. But before he gave the benediction, he turned and he looked at me and he said, come, what do you do? I said, I sing. He said, oh, do you sing or you minister? And I was just looking at him and said, well, people who sing, you know, they get fame, people like them, people cheer, which is good for them. But people who are called to minister receive favor and a type of blessings from God that is indescribable. So kneel down, and then he didn't ask me, what do you want? He just said, kneel down, and then he took a bottle of oil and poured it on my head and said, I anoint you a minister of the gospel.
Wow.
And that was the day that something broke in me. That was the day that I completely surrendered.
Wow.
Yes.
And then now we have more. So we go to the story of more. So what did you say to her before she gave you a hand, or what did she say to you before you released your hand to her?
Yeah.
And you guys started praying and ministering on the flight.
Well, you know, I went through a 2 period of wait after I surrender. I'm just seeking God's face and knowing how really He wanted to use me. I was on a flight from New York to South Africa. It's about 14 hours, but nothing worked. Like, the entire entertainment system was shut down on the plane. So obviously the person sitting next to me we were each other's entertainment. So that's how Peggy and I got talking. But I mean, naturally, I'm a very people's person, so I would naturally talk to a stranger. So we, you know, throughout the period of not being able to watch any movies or even listen to music, we just had each other. So we talked. She was a missionary. She told me her journey. So we prayed together, we worshiped. Such an amazing woman. And her experiences were so profound. So somewhere along the line, I fell asleep in the flight, and I heard singing in my left ear. So I thought, okay, people are singing in the plane. It sounded like a choir. So I stood up to look around and see who is singing, but nobody was singing. And I realized what was going on. So that was more, like word for word.
Wow.
Word for word.
What's been the response since you released it?
It's been amazing. I've had a lot of testimonies. Someone wrote to me and said she was healed after listening to the song. Other people have written and said that it has inspired them to walk in their true calling. They too have been running away from it. And you know, Miss G, it is such a humbling experience to be able to allow yourself to be used by God and put yourself in a position to walk in your true purpose in spite of what anyone might think or say. There's a peace that's within me that surpasses all understanding. Yeah.
And now that we finally have you back, you know, with more, are there going to be more songs coming through? Are we expecting an album?
Yeah.
Or are we expecting to see you on the pulpit preaching?
Preaching, wow. I'm still reading the Bible, still learning verses.
I was amazed when I heard you. I saw you write that you had read the whole book of Exodus.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I spend a lot of time, especially this year, I spend a lot of time in Hephzibah, is on top of the mountain at Ibri. I try and go there once a week, just, you know, time away with God. So yes, I am working on an album. Oh my God. You guys have no idea.
Wow.
You know, I did an interview with Fifi Folster and he said, oh, Irene Logan is back. And I said, thank you so much. But no, Irene Logan has just begun.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You see yourself like a new artist.
Completely, not even a new artist, but this journey of walking in my true purpose, like I am the 9th of September, I want you guys to watch what God is going to do in my life. And it has nothing to do with fame or popularity. It has everything to do with how he's going to use me in my true purpose. And I'm really excited.
We are happy to come with you on that journey. How do people find more to listen to? When is the video going to be out? Are we likely to shoot one?
Yes. So we're actually in talks to shoot a video soon. I wanted to do the video with a song, but it couldn't happen that way. You can find more on all the digital platforms, AudioMac, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Boomplay, Spotify, all of them, even the ones I haven't called, and also YouTube. I have a new YouTube channel, Irene Logan Official. Please follow.
Oh.
Yes.
Definitely we will. But now that we know that the video isn't out, I'd like the song to play in the background and you sing whilst we sign out. So if we can do that. But if there are any final words you want to say that before the song plays and then.
Okay. So that camera, right?
That's your camera.
Okay.
Right there.
So hi guys, everyone who is watching at home. God is so good, and I want to encourage someone out there today. You might be going through something that you cannot articulate or explain. The most powerful thing in life is to know your true calling, and the only way to know your true calling is to surrender to God and, you know, ask him how he wants to use you, and everything will be okay, even when it's not okay.
Even when it's not okay, she says, and the song is going to play while we sign off. And happy birthday to Naudrumo Sanku Netis. You are 1 year old today. It's coming from your mom. And they say, may God richly bless you. And your uncle, Eko Johnson of TV3 and dad of Controller Department. Okay, so let's play the song.